Today on A Commonly Good MTG, we're playing Rakdos 48. Rakdos because it is black and red and full of aggressive, grisly fun. 48 because according to MTG Meta, whatever, it had a 48% chance of winning. Is that enough to be a fun deck? Well, if you're watching this video, let me tell you, it's enough. All right, if that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, and despite rumors to the contrary, I had absolutely nothing to do with the collapse of the Soviet Empire. Dr. Yukon Socket. Yes, thank you. Filmed for a live studio audience. Thank you so much, Yukon Socket. Word to your mama. So, I'm broadcasting to you from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to a deck I found over on the Aether Hub. This thing was posted by the MTGA-Assistant-Meta, and it's just called Rakdos, and it had a 48% win rate. Usually stuff under 50% probably isn't worth playing, but I was desperate for a Rakdos deck that had Rottenmouth Viper in it and Urabrask Forge. I just had a hankering for playing those two. So I said, let's play it. And in a couple of games I've played so far, it's done well enough. So let's go out and do some evilness with it and make sure that we can have some fun along the way. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the cards that are in this deck. We'll talk a little bit about how the deck should work, and then we're going to go out and crush some hopes and dreams. What do we got going on here? You have to sacrifice a creature or enchantment, exile target creature. Exile target creature. Excellent. For 1 mana. Greedy Freebooter. This is a dude that when he dies, you get to scry 1 and create a treasure token. So you could sacrifice him to this guy and then get stuff out of it. Hopeless Nightmare is an enchantment that causes him to discard, and you can keep it around to sacrifice to some of the other stuff. You put this thing out, and then it says whenever one or more of your creatures dies, you create a food token. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, target player mills 2 cards. So basically we're big into putting out stuff that we can sacrifice. And then the things that happen when you sacrifice stuff. And Scavenger's talent really makes use of that. This guy, he comes out and he puts a cursed roll on something. So if you happen to have any 1/1s around, they really can't be any worse off than when this guy comes out. So you put him onto the Greedy Freebooter or the Clockwork Percussionist. And then you got a 3/2 for only 1, which is fantastic. Plus, that little curse token is something you can sacrifice to something else. This guy, when he dies, you get to exile top card of your library. You can play it till the next turn. Great. Tiki, this is for killing glimmers because it exiles if you do damage to things. This does 3 points of damage and then sticks around so that you can sacrifice it. This thing requires you may sacrifice an enchantment creature. If you do, you draw 2 cards. When you sacrifice this card, you get to manifest dread, which is putting out another card as a 2/2 creature. This one says at the end of your turn, you can sacrifice something you got, in which case your opponent has to sacrifice one of the same things, or they got to lose 2 life and you get to draw a card. So yeah, she is an engine for forcing sacrifices. Why would I want to sacrifice something? Well, Twisted Fealty allows me to take control of an opponent's creature, attack it with haste, and then put a wicked token on another creature I feel like. And then hopefully I'll have the ability to sacrifice that thing to something like Disturbing Mirth or Braids, or any of the other guys that like to chew up, like Final Vengeance. Yeah, that's great. If you could steal a guy for 3, attack with it, and then you kill it by throwing it to Final Vengeance, which you use to kill another creature. What else we got there? Urabrask Forge goes stronger and stronger every turn, plus that guy afterwards can be sacrificed for all of the other great stuff you're doing. Rottenmouth Viper is fantastic, except for he costs 6 to put out. The thing is, though, is that for every non-land permanent you're willing to sacrifice, he costs 1 less. And we got lots of things that we want to sacrifice in this particular deck. So you get out maybe 2 mana, 3 mana. As long as you got other stuff sitting on the board, you can put this guy out cheap. And when he does, your opponent has to choose for each blight counter on this, whether he's going to lose 4 life, sacrifice a non-land permanent, or discard a card. And that is the Sophie's Choice of Magic cards, my friend. All right, other than that, we got a nice collection of dual lands and a bunch of regular fast lands in there. All right, so what are we going to do? We're going to get out. We're going to control things. We're going to force them to get rid of things in their hands. We're going to kill dudes. We're going to force them to mill. And then eventually we're just going to start sacrificing their stuff, our stuff, and put out giant dudes that'll force them to discard even more stuff. That sounds like glorious fun. All right, so before we go out and do our damage, let's do as we do every night. Let's say our prayers and talk about what is best in life. Hands together. Dear Black Queen Sholdred, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as we attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear lamentations of the women. All right, playing against tobys. Shut up the dog. All right, this is slow mana time here. Still next turn we can put out the Hopeless Nightmare. Soften him up a little bit. We're looking at, okay, nothing. In we go. Come on, man, I'm attacking you for one. Just let it happen. Just lay back and let it happen. There you go. Do disturbing stuff right there. Get ourselves out of Freebooter. And, well, look who's here. It's a Forgeling. All right, obviously, we're at 22 to 15. We're going to win this thing. There's no way you could turn this thing around. You can take our Urabrask Forge? Yeah. That sucks. This is just a ward guy. Let's just get rid of the ward. And 3 mana to be able to make that happen, so we're just going to attack after this. Give it up. Man, be slow enough already, right? Let's get some Dread. That sounds like a good idea. That's cool. Maybe I should have used the Twisted Fealty to grab Sholdred and use her for my unholy experiments. Wasn't being sacrificial. No, you know, it'd be sacrificial Braids. Braids will help a lot with that. You don't like that guy. A wicked roll, huh? Not enough counters on there. Essence, whatever. Oh, he's down to 3. I didn't even recognize that. We're smoking it. And let's get him. Done. Winner, winner, victory dinner. All right, we are playing against MAGNESIUS. All caps. This guy's got money. Watch out, yo. 2 mana. Hasty monkey toy. I've seen this hand a lot. Yeah, we've got to do... We'll wait on the Hopeless Nightmares a little bit. We got to get his hand down a little bit more. He could play the early things, and these can hit the mid-rangey things for us there. Watch out, it's a crazy monkey. Can't be blocked. I played that wrong. I should have played the other one so I could put out Urabrask Forge next turn. Now my only hope is to get a fast land on the next draw. Let's hit him up hard. Let's see if he's willing to give it up. I don't think he will. He's got a lot of utility there. He's going to draw a card. All right, let's put out the guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's too disappointing. I would have had enough to put out a Rottenmouth. All right, let's go for it like this. All in. Let's pin this guy down a little bit. I don't think you can counter it, man. Mana, is that what I really need? I got 3. I'll tell you, we'll keep 1. Yo, you're trying to trick me, aren't you? All right, I'll keep it. Let me put out my land. That'd be fantastic. You're trying to figure out whether you're going to, discard to take the life or sacrifice something? You going to sacrifice Jace? Who's going to take the fall for you? That guy. A Twisted Fealty is going to be excellent. Yeah, like that. I just got to do some math ahead of time. 6 and 4 is 10. Might have to just suck it up is the problem. I'll get out Braids, that's fine. Now I need to keep I want Shoulder to stay alive. He's getting his back up to like 20 again. That's just nuts. That's fine. Wicked roll. Sure. Unfortunately, I need Port Braids to stay alive to activate the suicide on Sholdred. Oh, that's disappointing. All right, there you go. You got to pick a dude. You want him to. You have to kill that guy or take 2 life. All right, he's got 1 card, and Jace can draw him another one. And then he's got to deal with whatever the Viper Mouth's going to do to him. Okay, so he's only got 1 card. And we win! Boom, boom goes the room! Victory! I'm playing against DarthFramus. DarthFramus. Something like that. Keep. Let's go after the haste. Oh, I can't do that. All right. Let's go after the slow meatiness of a Greedy Freebooter. Get him! All right, so we got 4 towards the 6. None of that is permanence, though. It's not going to help us out too much. Let's crap this guy trying to play. All right, 3. In we go. All right, technically the next turn we put out the Rottenmouth. This guy's loaded with creature kill, though. He's got to be. Let's just go for it. That little jerk, huh? That's what he wants to play. He's got it there. I don't have any way to kill it. But if he tries to make me sacrifice something, at least I got something to sacrifice. Disappointing. It will be cool to kill him with his own dude. That thing have ward on it. Sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. Maybe. Let's wicked up this guy. Unfortunately, do I have the ability to kill it? I don't. I can do this, though. Which gives me the ability to kill it next turn. Oh, he doesn't like it. That shoulder was dirty. He'd been touched with the icky finger. I might be able to pull this thing out. He's out of mana. No, that's not good at all. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Let's take it in. That's what I get out of the deal, huh? Alright, so I can get 4. If he blocks that guy, I think Wicked causes 1 point of damage. Come on, be that one. Yes! Victory! Victory, victory! Alright, we're playing against philipnagata. Where is our speed here? I got to get the monkey out, so it's not this one, it's this one. And then, okay, so we'll get this out, put out the monkey, auto pay, take the damage, go in and exact my furious debt from his skin, and then when the Hexmage will come out on the next turn. You know, glorious. I'll get rid of this. Get him! Alright, so we have the ability to peel someone's skin off. We gotta wait till it's a sorcery, we gotta wait till the next turn. You are slow. Oh, you were fast. That is pretty good. And we win! In your face, philipnagata. In your face. I'm gonna say no, I did not enjoy it. Alright, we're playing against HRSSnake. The HR, his royal ship, the snake. We do 3. This is not terribly aggro. All right, let's shut up the mouse. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. There's the guy we got to put out. Greedy Freebooter. Esper. You know, Esper's fine. It just means control, and that drives me insane. I'm gonna rage this up. So I want to use the Spiteful Hexmage. Just need to drop their loads there onto the Greedy Freebooter. Well, that's it. All right, we got Beef Supreme out there with the guy with a 2 for butt who's about to get slaughtered. No blocks, it's fine. I mean, we're under 10, that is not fine. But I will do a little something like this. Yeah, man, go get him. Have a good time. All right, I'm at 8. He's at 13. That does not portend to be good stuff. Guy's going full rooms here. I don't have very much mana, do I? All right, let's teach him what discard's all about. All right, let's sacrifice. Yeah, that's all good. Get out a nice Tiki Monkey. Oh, we're down to 5. All right, but we can definitely just throw out the snake next turn and win. As long as he doesn't gain any life. We have to sacrifice 2 non-land permanents. There's a lot. Don't gain any life. Don't do it. And we just win. Oh, it was going to be glorious. But instead, we just have to suffer through sweet, sweet victory. All right, so we are with Rakdos 48, which means it had a 48% win rate. I ended up with a 55% win rate. So in your face. Obviously, I am the master deck player. Nah, I don't know. We played enough. 55%. I just had to get that number juiced up above 48 and then say, yep, we're done. All right, so let's take a look at this deck, see what we thought about it all together. Who was the MVP? Who was the most valuable player? I mean, it was Rottenmouth Viper, which is really why I wanted to play this deck in the first place. And normally I don't go for big old 6 cards like that, but we were getting this guy out for 3, 4, as long as we're willing to sacrifice a non-land permanent. And that's what we had in here, was just tons of enchantments coming out that we could sacrifice for the Rottenmouth Viper. Yeah, that was really good. The other card I thought was super fun, Twisted Fealty. In a good Rakdos sacrifice deck, this is such fun. As you can see, there's only 2 of them in here, so it was just put in here to have a good time. I'm surprised. I didn't realize we only had 2 Urabrask Forges in here. We got this thing out enough. I could swear that we had it in here at least 4 times. So altogether, yeah, my MVP for tonight is going to be the Rottenmouth Viper. Look for him at Disneyland, celebrating his MVP-hood. All right, so see, was this deck competitive? I ended up with a 55% win rate, which means that, yes, I mean, it's not competitive. You're not going to be going out and winning on the ladder that much. But if you're looking for fun, you like a little Rakdos action, it's probably worth playing. It was competitive enough to keep playing with. Let's put it that way. Number 2, was it fun? Here's the deal. Look at that right there. Look at that 1, that column right there. It's like, we're number 1. We're number 1 because absolutely, we were playing stuff early. We were playing stuff often. We were playing a lot of stuff. I was getting out tons of Greedy Freebooters and Spiteful Hexmages. I think one time I won a game with just Greedy Freebooters and Spiteful Hexmages. Didn't even get to this other stuff at all. Yeah, that was pretty fantastic. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun with it being as aggro as it was. I always enjoy that in a deck. There's so many cards in here I like, between Twisted Fealty, Urabrask Forge, Rottenmouth Viper. I like the fact that this deck helped to try to get towards Rottenmouth Viper. Wasn't necessarily what you would call a combo, but it worked towards it, which you get this thing out way earlier than that 6 mana. So yeah, altogether, really, really decent. Torch the Tower, I'm not a fan of this card. I know there's a use for it. It gets rid of glimmers or something like that, sure. But I know this is just a meta killing card right now. People are packing their decks with Torch the Tower. It just, you know, I've just been playing Magic so long, I don't really care about flash in the pan things like what are going on right now. So this doesn't mean anything to me. But, you know, if you're playing against the meta, which we all technically are, Torch the Tower is a good card. All right, so was it fun? Yes, it was a fun deck. Lastly, was this deck interesting? I mean, it was. The big reason why is because we're playing Rottenmouth Viper and we weren't playing Graveyard Recursion. You know, we were just getting out a bunch of really cheap non-land permanents so we can pay to get this guy out way early. That was pretty much it. The rest of the stuff was just for fun. It was like card draw. I mean, we weren't even like control. It was a nice balance of stuff. Little, like, these guys are actually awesome if you got things to throw their little, and like what I like is that those enchantment hexes, the little curse tokens, can be sacrificed to the Rottenmouth Viper as well. Braids loved sacrificing things. I love grabbing people's stuff and sacrificing them. That was great. All right, so yeah, was it an interesting deck? Yeah, it was pretty interesting. It nothing like the stuff you see in the top 10 in the meta right now. It was good. All right, so let's add that up. Was this deck competitive? Just barely. Was this deck fun? Yes. Was it interesting? Yes. So I'm going to give this deck an A- just because it, 55% isn't quite enough to say this is a deck you need to be playing hardcore. But if you love a good Rakdos deck, you love the Rottenmouth Viper, this might be a great deck for you to play. All right, so A- deck. If you decide to play with this deck, I hope that you have as much fun with it as I did. That is all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of uncommonly good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later.